Talk to Pastor Smith. He has some more information that he wants to give to us. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Poor nutrition today will increase Sarah's chances of anemia, add to her healthcare costs, sick days, even stunt her ability to learn. And the thing is, Sarah's not even born yet. Get proper nutrition before it's too late. Call or visit WIC. WIC provides nutrition information, healthcare referrals, even food. Your child has you, and you have WIC.
Mrs. Johnson, good to see you again. This is Mike. You can trust him. He looks just like you. Plus, 2 against 1 is more intimidating when we force someone to sign a loan.
And I'll be sucking up to you in order to keep up the illusion.
So, here are your low monthly payments and interest rate as we promised. Here's where they triple. The rest of this stuff, don't think a lawyer can read this. It protects us. Make sure we get your home when you can't pay us back.
Such a lovely house.
Yeah. But don't worry. We're going to sell you credit life insurance. You don't really need it, but
It puts lots of cash in our pockets.
you look nervous. We better hurry and get you to sign. Or I'll pretend to ruin your credit with one phone call.
Predatory lenders are never this easy to spot. Call us and protect yourself with the facts.
Every day, online predators make their way into homes uninvited and unnoticed. Help delete online predators. To learn what you can do to protect your kids' online life, visit cybertipline.com.
Yes, indeed.
We're back. We're back talking about the situation with crime and some other issues. And you had something before I asked you the other question.
Yeah.
And remember, I want to get back with you and tell you.
I can just do a segue like this just to remind everyone that the Southern General Missionary Baptist Association of Louisiana, which is under the direction of Reverend Dr. Lewis W. Smith as the president, they're in the middle of their 113th annual session. It continues on until June 3rd, and I just want to say that tonight they had an opening session for the parent body. And tomorrow, Saturday, June the 2nd, 11 a.m. is the annual Dr. Frank L. Lewis Memorial Scholarship Luncheon. That's going to be taking place, but the final day will be Sunday, June the 3rd, and all events will be taking place at the Trinity United Missionary Baptist Church, 3501 North Claiborne Avenue. So we just like to mention that for Reverend Dr. Lewis W. Smith, who's the president of the Southern General Missionary Baptist Association. Now, having said that, you know what the issue is? And I'm saying the issue is this, besides the fact that we're talking about how juvenile walk around with the ankle braces and everything like that. The issue is this. You don't know what they're going through because people are not listening. You could hear what politicians are saying. You know, one politician, well, the mayor of Chicago said that they should close up all liquor stores on the corner and everything, and that would stop the crime.
Is that true?
No, I don't think it's true. I mean, you know, that's what he said, and he got a little flack for it, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, but liquor stores are not creating crime, is it?
No.
Because especially in the city of New Orleans, just about every restaurant, you know, a lot of the venues, they serve alcohol. Mm-hmm. So is that the problem?
No, I mean, if you close every liquor store, you probably have just more frustrated people that's out there.
Well, I mean, if you close the liquor stores, they're still selling in the supermarket?
Right, exactly.
Okay,
so he got a lot of flack for that, the mayor of Chicago. But from the politicians to the preachers to the police, that's the 3 Ps right there: politicians, preachers, and police. You know, and I'll say the fourth one: the parents. You know, everyone is saying something, but no one's listening to what the children are saying. Let
me before you give the children's side of it, I want to say that we mentioned on the last show about evangelism effort that went forward on the 27th in Central City, where pastors of that area came together, and we decided that we were going out on the street. And at 3:30, we showed up. There were pastors, there were preachers, there were members. We showed up. At 3:30, I can mention some of the names of the pastor, the Reverend Marvin Turner, is one that I can think about. Reverend James Bridges, his wife represented him by showing up, and these are churches in the immediate area, walking distance. And want to thank God for Reverend Creole James and Ronald Williams, Najee Johnson, and they brought their evangelism team. They had their mic and they preached in the area. We prayed in the area. We witnessed. We even had one young man after the event. He asked about food, and we said, well, we didn't have any food. We had water, and one of the ministers took care of his need at that moment. Took care of that need, because he said, I heard it was going. I said, how did you hear that? We didn't announce we're going to have food, but he said, and I understood what he was saying. He was saying, I have a need. My need is I'm hungry. So to say that the church, the community, is not doing what it should be doing. I think a lot of churches, and we're going to do this ongoing. We're going to do this at least once a month, separate from our own church's evangelism effort. And we're going into the communities. We're going in what we consider the hot spots where people have been shot or have had altercations. So we're going to continue this all summer. We're going to do this until the fall. And so what is lacking is a dialogue, and I got to go back to what you're saying. The dialogue. I know they have Teen Summit, right. But do you think that's enough?
Well, and my emphasis is this: it's the fact that they have a voice, and I want to. If I did have a program, I'd label it, something like "Our Voice is We Hear You," or something like that. Because
so you think that'd be a good thing to develop a new program that gives them an opportunity to speak out? Yeah,
because no one is actually listening to what these youth are saying. Now, you have to.
Well, why don't you invite them via this show so we can hear and we can get that feedback? Because I can't say everybody's not listening. There are a lot of groups that are listening to young people. There are a lot of successful groups, nonprofit church groups that are listening. Dr. Calvin Wood mentioned about one of the programs that he had at his church, and it was mentioned years ago about when President Bush was a president. He didn't even know that the president knew about his program, and the president mentioned his program. So there are a lot of programs.
I'm not saying that they don't have a lot of programs, but what I'm saying is that let's put it like this: we're coming up on the 7th year anniversary of remembrance, however you want to say it, for Katrina.
Of course.
Now, I want you to think.
And don't you think that should be something, remembering that disaster?
Well, and this is the point I'm making. If a 13-year-old was 6 or 7 back then, during the time of Katrina.
I see what you're saying.
6 or 7 years old, how much
traumatic?
It's traumatic time. 6 or 7 is
post-traumatic stress.
Post-traumatic stress. How much counseling did that individual get?
Probably none.
And you got individuals that's out there who have went through this post-traumatic stress, who are handling it their own way that they can. We know what it is. We know what post-traumatic stress does to adults with the wars and when they come back and everything.
But we never did a study.
But we never did study and never did do anything for the children. I work with the Red Cross. I understand that they had a program set out, but nobody came. You know why? Because no one wanted the stigma of saying,
something is wrong with my child.
Something's wrong with me, and I'm not going to be labeled as going crazy because I got to see a psychiatrist or something like that. But no one ever, and I'm very passionate when it comes to this.
Well, mental illness is a real thing that we need to let the public know. It doesn't mean you're crazy because you're going to see somebody and counseling about some traumatic experience that you went through. Because look, grief counseling is something that we need in our church communities because yes, we do have funerals, and it's something that we don't like to have, but we have to realize that some of our members are getting older. And look, that's the progression that we would like to see, that a member 102 and 103 is passing on. What we don't like is that when a member is 5 years old, 6 years old, 18 years old, and not by a disease or incurable disease or something like that, but by some kind of violent act.
And again, that's what I'm saying. the kids who were 6 or 7 years old 7 years ago, 13 and 14 now, are the ones who are really doing the crimes. And what kind of counseling, what kind of grief counseling, what kind of post-traumatic counseling they had, they're doing this on their own. It's like surviving on their own. And, it's been a long time since I was 6 or 7, but I use a song that Gladys Knight sang. I really got to use my imagination, because that's all basically, at least that's what I had back then, my imagination. But these kids now, they have more than an imagination.
Well, I like the way you went there. You use your imagination, and then you talked about it during the Hurricane Bessie. You say Johnny Quest was part of your imagination, And so that upset you when you didn't see Johnny Quest.
Exactly. And I was around about 6 or 7 when that happened. And so that's something that stuck with me. That incident that happened with Bessie interrupted my cartoon show and everything.
The hurricane. Is a stigma for you because you said it stopped your normal life that you were going through at that time. Because, like you say, you remember, hey, Johnny Quest playing all day and coming in and watch Johnny Quest. Now, it's gone.
And it's like to the point whereby, if I could remember that myself when I was 6 or 7. The kids today, it was more dramatic because if people stayed here in the city after Katrina,
now you're talking
it was
about
a
some
war
serious,
zone, literally.
Not only war zone. What about exposure to things that maybe they shouldn't see at a young age?
I was gonna say, see,
I don't want to mention it, but I did talk to some people who were here, and they say they've seen some things that were unimaginable. When they say unimaginable, I'll just tell you, we have alligators in the zoo. And they say alligators were not in the zoo.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, so that's all.
And
the level.
You got alligators, you got snakes, and all like that.
You got predators.
Yeah. And the sad part about it is, like I said, those things. Who helped the youth deal with that? So let me make an appeal. I make an appeal to the youth and to the parents, but mainly to the youth. We want to hear what you have to say, and by hearing what you have to say, what I mean by that is this: is that let us hear your voice. Let us hear your frustration. Because if we don't hear, how they're doing the frustration? They're doing the frustration.
Well, we'll invite them on the show that we can talk to them. We'll give them a venue that they can air out some of their grievances, and we'll have an opportunity for them to vent, because a lot of times there's a lot that's going on that we're not aware of. And so we need to be alerted what's going on so we can come in there with a ministry of reconciliation where we can say, look, this is what we need to do. I was fortunate, and we got to go, I was fortunate to watch on the History Channel the Hatfields and McCoy seemed like a long-lasting feud that really tore up a family. Tore up a family. I won't tell you the outcome of it, but you'll get a chance to see it. Let's work together. We can do something. Again, we thank God for Reverend Smith. We thank God for you that view the show. We're going to be listening, and you can call us, and we'll get that information so we can get that to you. But we say to you, go to a church of your choice and worship the Lord. We invite you to come on out to True Love Missionary Baptist Church, 2710 Phillip Street. Worship time is at 8 a.m. Sunday morning. Come out, be blessed of the Lord. Hear the word of the Lord, so that the time is now to hear what God has to say. Until next time, God bless you and God keep you. That's our prayer.